Last time on Kerbal Space Program, we built a ridiculously rocket-covered rocket to go to the moon. We had a successful launch and orbital injection burn, proceeded to go down to just our Munar mission vehicle, did our Munar injection burn, and managed to only miss the moon by a little bit, but after just a few days worth of rotations, we got lined up pretty well. And now on to part 2 of Nananki's mission to the moon. I ran out of hard drive space at this point, and I paused the game, I got out into Fraps, I changed the drive I was recording to, got back into Kerbal, and hit F9 to record, and F9 is apparently also the quick load button to load your last quick save, which apparently is made automatically at launch, and I found myself back on the launch pad. So the beginning of that video is rendered useless by a flurry of expletives that we'll not get into now. Suffice to say, I got back in orbit and made a better judged moon shot. This time I didn't have to make 3 days worth of orbits to line up with the moon. And the recording starts basically when I was halfway there and the orbital lines suddenly shifted around and went kooky on me. The orbits all changed again. This game kind of is weird when it comes to predicting encounters and such. What does it say now? It says I'm gonna do a loop-de-loop. Neat. Okay. Well, let's just get closer and see what's gonna actually happen, shall we? Looks like I'm gonna be a little bit ahead of the moon, to be honest. Even at 100x, things just sort of creep forward. That's okay, though. When we get close to the moon encounter, we'll go ahead and slow down. Time to find out what happens. What does it think we're gonna do here? In 10 seconds or so. And there we have it. Looks like we'll be making a nice touchdown. Right there on the edge of the light and dark side. So that'll be probably fairly picturesque, I'd imagine. And we should now start speeding up instead of slowing down because we'll now be falling into the moon. Let's take a look around. There's Kerbin. There's the sun. And there's the moon. I think I see the seam of their background in this particular frame, right there in the middle. You can see it. That's funny. I can see the seam of the universe. Well, let's speed up time a bit, shall we? I see no reason to do any burns when we're still just on approach. Especially since we're not going terrifically fast or terrifically slow and we're still several thousand kilometers away from our intended goal of the lunar surface. Anything changing on this map? Nope, everything looked good. Actually, as time goes on, it looks like maybe the edge of darkness gets closer and closer to our landing zone. Nah, it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. That line is staying pretty stable. In fact, when we start to retro burn, we'll end up even more solidly on the bright side. Which, now that we're starting to speed up, seems like probably as good a time as any to do our retro burn, our first of several, I'd imagine. Now that we're a smaller ship, it's a lot easier to control. I like that. I may have said that already. But it's the truth. That's a pretty good retro burn, if you ask me. And all we really need to do is burn enough to bleed off some of this excess velocity, and then we'll go ahead and down throttle after we do. Since we're still a ways away, we'll just slow down a little bit with this burn. Yeah, that's good. I like that there's a instant throttle cutoff switch, in fact, just to see what's going on. If we throttle back up. Yeah, it just puts us more solidly into the moon surface. We're so close now we can't miss it. There's no way. And we've got an absolute ton of fuel left. I am not even kidding. We got that much fuel left in the atomic thrusters, and then we've got the entire middle landing segment, which I figured we would need to use up all of the fuel in those rockets just to get to the moon. The fact that I'm able to use them for these retro burns is just an added bonus, as far as I'm concerned. Go back up to 100x to make meaningful progress. Hey, for once, oh, never mind. I thought Bob was smiling. I was going to say, for once, all of the Kerman brothers are smiling. No, I spoke too soon. Even Bill now is looking pensive. Apprehensive, even. Looks like we're going to land in the giant crater, or perhaps right on the edge of it, which I'm of two minds about that. I don't know, it'll probably be scenic, like I said, but it won't be maybe as flat a spot. That's kind of worrisome. Gonna do another retro burn here. Right about there. I don't know why I'm concerned with coming in at 90 degrees anymore. I shouldn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Not one iota. Yeah, we're down to 260 kilometers here. Down to the final approach, more or less. So bleeding off more speed just means that I can speed up time more, really, without being as worried about it. I don't really want to overheat those. There's no need for it. I just don't trust it. Let's try to get exactly centered on that retro burn, now that I was just thinking about what I was saying a moment ago about why should I care if I'm at 90 degrees. What I should really care about is having 0 surface velocity so that I just go straight down so that I don't have to try to compensate for that at the last second, which will be basically impossible because the moon is orbiting and spinning and everything is orbiting and spinning, and basically means that there's a certain degree of drift involved, where even if we're headed straight for the surface, it's going to be difficult without being in a lunar orbit to come in perfectly. I don't know. And I'm not interested in trying to establish an orbit, though, I don't know, we could. We could pretty easily. I mean, we just got an apoapsis going. If we swung out 90 degrees, there we are, yeah, RCS on, or actually it'd be like more like 270. I like to be turned so that the horizon represents like kind of like an actual horizon. I know I'm a stickler for clarity of controls if possible. There we are. I guess I should be trying to be equatorial on this. Yeah, that looks good. Actually, why am I doing this? We're going to the moon. We're not going for orbit. We'll orbit plenty of things. I want to land on the moon. That's what I want. More retro burns, please. Whee, tumbling through space. I was actually just looking for the retro spot. Once you find one, you have effectively found the other, because it's always going to be the complete opposite. Other way. There we are. Sometimes I make the mistake of looking at the ship, and you can very easily get turned around as to which side is which. Alright, another retro burn. Slow down to about 350, I suppose. Just gonna make lots of small incremental burns on the way in, for the sake of it, rather than one giant burn at the end as we come tearing in with too much velocity to stop. Like, no, I'd rather just take it slow and, you know, speed up time a little bit here and there. Ooh. 50 was a lot. We were really sailing in there at 50. Wait till we get to 100,000. 100,000's plenty close. Plenty far, I should say, to do everything we need to. Besides the fact that I don't know that that's 100% accurate. It's pretty likely that it is, but I don't know, I don't like to take things for granted. It might not be sea level, the lowest point might not be, you know, 0 across the surface. 0 on this might be the lowest point of the lowest crater, for all I know. Yeah, time to kill off some velocity. Luckily we have enough propulsion and enough fuel to go about landing on the moon with this direct approach. With the Apollo missions, of course, fuel was at more of a premium of design. They could only get so much up there, so they did not have enough to just fly straight into the moon. They had to go orbit it and then go down separate from the module that contained the main engines and so forth, and then come back up from the moon and recouple with that to come back to Earth. Whereas we will just have one landing and return vehicle, because this game gives us rockets that are pretty darn good. Moon is getting awfully big. I wonder if these stars are just made up, or if Kerbin has a actual atmosphere and such. Or not atmosphere, but constellations and such. I had to think and steer at the same time, so things were iffy there. Ideally, we can nullify any and all forward motion. Like, we're still kind of drifting to the right, that's why we're angling slightly to the left. But it's reducing at all times. Ooh. Come on. There you go. I just want to keep this ever so slightly to the left of retrograde, so that we're slowing down quite a bit. In fact, we have slowed down quite a bit. Yeah, I'd like to negate that, if at all possible. If I can get the X onto the pole there, that'll mean that we've negated the majority of our forward motion there, or ground motion, I should say. Aiming slightly past it should be what it takes to nullify that. I think it's getting closer. It's like getting closer by like half-lives of increments. Half-life. Okay, we're speeding up now instead of slowing down. More thrust. We're down to 50 kilometers. Yeah, definitely time to get this stuff straightened out. Oh yeah, look at that. I wanted to kill the rocket immediately as soon as I saw that we were close to dead center there. I was like, perfect, stop, don't touch it, leave it right where it is. I'd like to get even more perfect if possible. Oh yeah, that's pretty darn perfect, I think. Alright, let's slow this thing down a bit. Not too much though, because we've still got a bit of traveling to do. Actually, let's go ahead and negate the majority of our downward progress, and I'll speed up time if we need to get there quicker. My thinking here is that we are going to have to get rid of these thrusters at some point, and it might as well be sooner rather than later, and higher rather than closer. Alright, that's plenty slow enough for the moment. Coming in pretty much straight down. I think we're drifting ever so slightly to the right. It's almost hard to tell. I'm going to square myself up with the instrument panel in the hope that it'll make controlling things go a little bit more smoothly when the time comes in the very near future. 37 kilometers to the surface. Tension mounting. Bill is looking pretty happy. That's nice. Bob, you continued scowling. You're just never pleased. The only time you're pleased is when you're on the launch pad, or possibly having landed. We'll see about the second one, hopefully shortly. Alright, we're speeding up rather than slowing down, so we need to burn a little bit more thrust than that. There we go. When we get down to about 10 kilometers, I'll slow down a little bit more. As we get closer, the moon's gravity is going to increase as well, so we will have to apply more and more thrust to deal with that. But luckily, this little big engine here attached to this big giant fuel tank is actually pretty strong and pretty good in my brief experiments with it. And I think it'll work. I think it'll work just fine. Even though we're still losing speed, I bet we don't get to 100 because of the gravity increase. 100 meters per second, that is. I'll have to throttle up to achieve that. Look in the crew cab, but there's not really anything to see in the crew cab. Somebody said in a previous episode, like, oh, we'd like to see from his perspective more, and I'm like, well, he doesn't really have much of a view. Sorry. Are we drifting anywhere? That's pretty straight, I have to say. It's a nice flat landing spot, too. I'm not disappointed. Even if I seem to have a frog in my throat, I am not disappointed. We're getting so low we can see the clear details now. Let's go ahead and use up the rest of this fuel and get rid of these rockets, because we're coming closer and closer here. I mean, I guess I should continue like I said and just go progressively for the sake of it. I need to get a darned glass of water, is what I need. Alright, well, definitely time to bleed off the rest of this fuel here. We're down to 7 kilometers from the surface. And it's kind of a might as well type of moment. Yeah, this will be okay. This will be just fine. See how much slower we're going now? And we'll burn up the rest of this fuel, and then we'll just jettison these rockets. At the same moment that they run out, we'll just get rid of them. We don't need to hover. There's no need for that. I've basically been wasting the fuel in them because I can't land with them. I'm pretty sure the legs won't reach, and I didn't plan on it, and it's too much weight probably to get off the ground for that matter. I don't know, maybe it's not. I just didn't plan on it. So, we're going to stick to the plan on this one. Let's keep this below 50 meters per second on the way in, shall we? You know, we're coming toward a ridge that I can't really tell the height of, so let's go ahead and do like I said here and get rid of these right now. Let's just get rid of them. Bye. Ooh, slow down. Landing gear down. Okay. This thing only needs a tiny bit of thrust to negate the moon. Are we going up? No, we're going down. Okay, thank God. But now we're drifting a little, just a little bit. Just the tiniest of bits. Just turn off the SAS for just a moment. There we go. Nullify that. Come down at a slight angle to make up for the slight amount of velocity in that direction. Let's go a little bit less than 50 meters a second here. Oh, my heart's beating now. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to start just looking at the surface. I hear stuff exploding. Oh, it's that stuff. Okay. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. 10 is good. Let's not go any slower than that. There's the surface. Let's just give that a little bit more. No, I don't want to go up. Crap. Let's just counteract this side to side, shall we? I see our shadow, and I'm getting the retro point where I want it. Ooh. Ooh, here we go, kinda. Stop, 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 stop. Oh, this thing is on a hill. I don't like this hill. Oh, I'm discombobulated. Okay, stop again. Okay, let's see. We got a hill in front of us. We're going in that direction. Let's tilt to this direction. Okay, here's the front of the thing as far as the controls are concerned. Now I can go off this visually. This will be much easier, I think, for me now. Alright, 9 meters, 8 meters. That's a fine landing speed as far as I'm concerned. I'm not even going to touch the velocity at this point. I'm just going to try to be flat as we come in. More velocity, more velocity, more velocity, more velocity, more velocity. And engines off. And save me, SAS. Yes! Yes! Yeah! That's right! We're on the moon! On a moon. Don't you ever forget. Oh, that's terrific. Well, I think we all already know who's going to be the first Kerbal on the moon. Zoom up a bit. Before we do that, kind of important. False start there. Extend ladder. Yes. Let's see this thing work. Oh yeah, it gets right by that landing leg. I was a little worried about that. I'm a little worried about how we're going to get back on the thing. But priorities are priorities. First things first, let's go down there. Approaching the base of the ladder now. Let's zoom in for this historic moment with Jebediah Kerbal. Yeah. Kerman. Jebediah Kerman. From he's a Kerbal named Kerman from... Wait, I got that wrong. Jebediah Kerman from Kerman is a Kerbal. It's spelled differently. Anyway, the point here is, Jebediah, one small step for man, one giant leap for Kerbal kind. Oh wow, look at that. Let's jump. Whoa! Do we have RCS thrusters on that backpack? Oh, sweet. Whee! Oh god, whoa! Apparently the moon is very slippery. Slide. So what if we jump down the hill? How far would we go? Probably pretty far, I'd imagine. Okay, stop. There you go. Good job there. Let's jump this way. Whee! And slow it down. Good jump. Jump again. Whee! Slow it down. Now we're moving. I don't know why we're going to the top of the hill. Oh, fell down. That's okay though, we're going to run out of momentum in just a second. We're not going to the top of the hill, we're going back to the ship. I'm just running around for the sake of it. Let's do a really far jump. Whoa, this is going to be painful. And stop! Oh, Jebediah, you so silly. Alright, let's get the three guys out here for a screenshot, if possible. Hello! Stop! Recover! Is he just enjoying himself there or what? Alright, jump and stop. There we go. And you know, just to satisfy my own curiosity, can I go back up the ladder without having to jump at it? Or is that how I get on it? Oh yeah, I'll just grab it like that. That's easy. Yeah, look at that. No problem. That'll be no sweat. I can do that with all of them. Okay, cool. Let me get all three out for a screenshot. I don't take screenshots of much, but I'm pretty satisfied with that moon landing. Especially after the first one. That was just painful. The first non-landing, I should say. Alright, bracket to go to the ship? Yep. Okay, cool. EVA time, Bob. Your brother will be joining us momentarily. Yeah, you're low enough. Just drop. See? Don't doubt it. Alright, and last but not least, that's not the right guy. There we are. Bill! Join us, won't you? Boy, the real key there was figuring out which side of the ship was the front. Because in space, I never even look at the ship anymore. I just navigate off of the instrument. The horizon indicator. Attitude indicator, whatever you want to call it. Because there's no real horizon in space, so... yeah. But, nope. It's much easier when the ship actually, when left is left and not up or some other direction. Let's see, let's get Jebediah a little bit more lined up with the others. There we go. Alright. I'd like to get some kind of... like, where's Kerbin in the sky? Whoa. I don't want to glitch the game out. Heaven forbid. But I would like to look up. Oh, is it under us right now? It probably is. Let me hit M. Yeah, it should be off to the left, but we're on the inside of this big hill. That's why we can't see it. We are on the inside of a gigantic crater. And we're right at the edge of it, too. We should, like, one of us should go up to the top of this hill. I think we already know who's volunteering to go up to the top of the hill. Is that Jebediah? Nope, that's not Jebediah. That's not Jebediah. That's Jebediah. No, it's the second one. Okay. Jebediah. Howdy. No, he's on the end. Oh. I was right the first time. Whoa! Alright, let's zoom this thing in. Let's go to the top of the hill. It's going to be a little bit of running. We'll just speed this up and You can watch him run really fast and silly style. I still think that's faster, jumping, than just walking. This is one of those things that's going to be deceptively far away. Like, visually it doesn't seem that bad, but when I actually get to the top of this hill, it's going to be, like, tremendously high. Like, I'm never going to actually get to it. It's just going to keep tapering. It's too bad I can't use, like, up boost. Believe me, I've been trying here. No, you can only use forward and left and right, pretty much, with this jetpack. Even though it seems to be able to go up, you'd think a jetpack would be able to go up. That's kind of the quintessential direction a jetpack would go. As long as you come in gently enough, he doesn't really mind going a pretty good distance. That seems like the lip of this thing right up here. If I can get up here and watch Kerbin rise from the edge of the giant crater on the moon, I will have considered this a pretty good day. Do I have a limited amount of jetpack fuel? Yes, I do. Okay, I'm only a quarter of the way through it. That's not too bad. Do I have a limited amount of oxygen? That's a far more important question, but they don't seem to have resources like water, food, air. Those things are irrelevant to Kerbals. They are sustained by the thrill of adventure. I wish I had some way to just weigh down the W button, like go get a sandwich. Yeah, I'm not doing that. This is taking forever. This is silly. I mean, it's been like minutes, and I'm like not even halfway, not even. And I think it just keeps going and going and going. All right, let's go back. Whoa! Oh, pretty good landing. All right, get your footing back. I want to jump off the steep part because we're coming up to the steep part. I want to see how far we can fly. Jebediah can't die from falling, can he? It's the moon. He'll be fine. Whee! Ah! Oh my god! Holy crap! Whoa, Jebediah! Hang on, buddy! Oh, there goes the ship! Ah, Bill, catch me! Whoa! Oh, shit! This was not what I wanted! Oh, slow it down! Catch yourself! Do something, buddy. Oh, did you just break a limb? God, your legs shouldn't twist that way. Oh, your head bouncing. Stop, for the love of all that is holy. Stop. Oh my gosh. Is he just, did he break his neck? Is he never going to move again? Whoa. We caught a divot. Oh, at least it slowed us down. Whew. Come on, stop it. Stop, Jebediah, stop it. Just pick yourself up. Yes! Thank God. Alright, let's just go back. Never speak of this again. Yeah, I think the fastest method is to jump without actually falling down. Where is the Kerbin? We should be able to see it soon. Very soon. We'll time skip if necessary, but good lord, at this rate, it might not be necessary. You know? And jump and boost and brake and land and fall. And slide. And rise and walk and jump and boost and brake. And land. And stick it. Yes. And repeat. Repeat that pattern. The last one. Not so much the first one. I really slid a long way. That divot, man, holy crap. I was really moving there. I dare say if I had hit something, I might have been in trouble. Apparently the moon is very slippery. I wouldn't have thunk it, being that it's a fine powder. In fact, the moon powder, since there's no air, water, etc. to erode it, is extremely coarse at a microscopic level. And I think I've heard it compared to that material that they outlawed for blocking fire, asbestos. That if we ever did have colonies on the moon, moon dust would actually be a really, really serious health hazard. And it'd be messing people up, and it'd be something you'd have to constantly decontaminate from inbound ships and any other service ports or hatches or anything to that effect. Oh my god, we're back. How much fuel? We used up 3/4 of our fuel on that little adventure. It was worth it. Totally worth it. Alright, let's line up here. We'll put Jebediah in the middle, and probably slightly in front as well, because, you know, he's kind of awesome. And let's get the other two while we're at it. Look at me trying to get the distance perfect. And last guy. Last but not least in any way, Bill or Bob, one or the other. Which one are you? You're Bob. Sorry I can't tell on sight. Alright, well, there they are. There's my rocket. If I want to have the rocket in the background, I guess I'll need to park them on the other side of it. Huh. Yeah, it's all good. Seems like some of them turn around and some of them don't. I don't know, camera free versus camera orbital or something. I don't know. It's confusing. Where is Kerbin Rise already? Or is it going the wrong way? I think it's going the other way, actually. Yeah, it is. What kind of rotation does this have, anyway? None? Yeah, we're tidally locked to Kerbin, meaning the same side always faces. I know that's a effect of gravity over time. Yeah, we won't see Kerbin again, it seems like. Ever so slowly rotating here. If I speed up even more, we see we'll eventually... Now we'll never see Kerbin. We'll never see it from our current position. That's kind of funny. We'll have to get onto a more distant body, I suppose. Oh well, it was still a nice picture. Even without Kerbin or ice. Yeah, there we go. We'll just glitch the game out. There's Kerbin and the moon. That's not what I wanted. But that's pretty cool right there, I'll just say. Good job, guys. Mission accomplished. Well, the first half at least. Now, back onto the pad. Thank you very much. I can probably jump from here and hit this thing, right? Ooh. Yep. Excellent. Alright, all aboard. Next stop, Kerbin. Boy, the hard part's over. To land on Kerbin, all I have to do is deploy a parachute. That's like nothing by comparison. Well, that was pretty satisfying, to be honest, landing on the moon. I feel like I had a pretty smooth landing, too. Couldn't have done that much better if you ask me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. As always, like it if you liked it, and stay tuned for the third and final part of the moon voyage tomorrow, most likely late night tomorrow, about the same time this one came out, between midnight and 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for anybody who's following along anxiously. And if you are, thank you! And I'm going to keep them up, and look forward to TF2 commentaries to come as well, especially with the new weapons. I'm looking forward to those. Peace.